Hello, and welcome to this video tutorial on how to renew leases, complete move-outs. I'm going to show you how to renew the lease for conventional property, rent changes, enter a notice to vacate, and complete a move-out. First, let's renew a lease. The first thing you need to do is get focus on a tenant. Now I have focus on Laney Rogers. Next, we're going to select Tenant Actions from our sidebar group and Renew Lease. We will select the date our lease renewal begins. Many times when you open the Renew Lease form, it will open just as you see it here. I'm going to slide the form all the way over to the side using my sidebar, and then you will be able to see all of your fields. The next thing you will do is change your tenant contribution, which will automatically be displayed as 0. So, in this case, maybe your tenant's going to pay $500 in rent, but they're getting a concession of $100. Once you've made all the changes to their lease, you simply save the form. Now let's look at the lease history for Ms. Rogers. Again, I have focus on my tenant. I'm going to right click and view lease history. And here's our renewal. Now, let's go into move-outs. In MultiSite, you must complete a notice to vacate prior to completing a move-out. Even if your tenant did not give you notice to vacate, if you found a unit abandoned, you still must complete a notice to vacate before you complete a move-out. So let's do that now. We're going to move out Laney Rogers, and we already have focus on this tenant. But remember, before you do anything in MultiSite, you must have focus on the tenant or property that you're working on. Under Tenant Actions, which is the sidebar group that's displayed, we're going to select Notice to Vacate. This is our Notice to Vacate form. At the top, it gives us unit information as well as some lease information. This form is pretty simple to complete. The only thing that we need to do is enter the reason for move out, and in some cases, again, the tenant may not give you a reason for move out. They may just leave the apartment abandoned or give you no notice at all. And if that is the case, no notice given is an option available to you. But we'll select health reasons. We'll enter a date a notice was given to us. This same date fills in as the date the notice was mailed, and that's okay. Now we'll enter the date the tenant expects to vacate. That date automatically fills in as the date we're going to charge rent through. Now you can change that date if you like, but normally that's going to be the same date we're going to charge rent through. Now, this amount out to the side under prorated amount, that's a very large amount, $68,000. Because this training site is on a playground site and we've never charged this tenant any money, that's why that's such an outrageous amount. But don't worry, your prorated amounts will be accurate. Now you have several options at the bottom. You have an option to save, no print, and email, or save, print, and email. Save, no print, and email means that you're going to save this notice to vacate form. You're not going to print any forms, and you do not need to email anyone of this notice to vacate. Save, print, and email means that you're also going to save this notice to vacate form. However, you do want to print a notice to vacate form for your tenant, and you also may have an option of emailing another individual in your company of this notice to vacate. Those settings are normally set up when we set up your site. We do have 4 forms available for you to print when you save, print, and email. So let me show you those forms. They're listed as vacate notice 1, 2, 3, and 4. Our notices are, we're able to print a notice to vacate that you could print for your tenant that will show that they are in good standing. The second notice will print a notice to vacate form indicating that they are breaking their lease and they owe you money. The third notice is a notice to vacate form indicating that they are breaking their lease and they also owe you money. 3, 2, 1. The third notice is a notice to vacate form indicating that they are breaking their lease. And the fourth notice is a notice to vacate form that you could provide to us. You have the option of printing these forms to the tenant, the resident manager, the property manager, and also a copy for the file. And again, you have the option of emailing an individual in your company and those sites. 3, 2, 1. Those settings are set up when we set up your site. Once you print your form, your notice to vacate has been saved. And we're going to close this form. Now, let's go back and take a look at Laney Rogers. I now have focus on Laney Rogers. And when I get focus on Laney Rogers, automatically is displayed a tenant note. When you enter a notice to vacate, 3, 2, 1. When you enter a notice to vacate, the system automatically generates a notice to vacate tenant note. Also, under Management Views, under Notices Pending, all the notices pending for the sites that you have access to will be displayed. These are all the sites that I have access to. Now let me put this in order so we can find. This is a bad idea, Jazz. Maybe I can, I don't know if it's so. Okay, anyway. Okay. Anyway. When you're ready to move your tenant out, it's really simple to do. Again, you must have focus on your tenant. Under the Tenant Actions sidebar group, you simply select Move Out Tenant. The move out form is very similar to the Notice to Vacate form. One thing before we move our tenant out. If your tenant did issue a Notice to Vacate and rescinded that Notice to Vacate, it's very easy to undo. You simply click on the Move Out form and select Undo Notice to Vacate. Also, if when issuing a Notice to Vacate they gave you a forwarding address, you select Enter Forwarding Address and you'll be able to enter a forwarding address for your tenant. When you're ready to move them out, 3, 2, 1. When you're ready to complete a move out, you're going to enter the date the tenant actually vacated, because a lot of times this is different than the actual date on their Notice to Vacate. After entering the date, you select Save at the bottom of the form. If your prorate is not on, prorate at move out, you will be asked if you want MultiSite to complete the move out prorate charges for you. You can say make the prorate charges to the period, or you can make those charges manually. It's all up to you. And our move out's completed. I'm going to close this move out form. Now if you notice, our tenant is gone and our unit is in red. Our other two vacant units are in blue. Whenever a unit is in red, that means our unit is not ready for occupancy. If we tried to complete a move-in for this unit, we would be warned that our unit is not available. And that's because the unit is not listed as ready for occupancy. After completing turnover, we must go into MultiSite and mark the unit as ready for occupancy. Let's do that now. To mark a unit as ready for occupancy, you simply get focus on the unit, right-click, and Edit Ready Unit. You enter the date the unit was ready for occupancy and save as ready. Now all of our vacant units are ready for occupancy. Okay. Security deposit disposition. Now, let's complete a security deposit disposition. Our tenant is no longer available to us in our units grid, but we can always find our past tenants one of two ways. The first way is by looking for their last name, or we can simply get focus on the unit, their past unit they were in, right-click, and select Unit History Past Tenants. I think this is just the easiest way to do it. Now, let's get focus on our tenant. We always know we have focus on our tenant based on our status bar. Now, over to the left in our Tenant Action sidebar group, we're going to select SD Disposition. Our unit is already available. 3, 2, 1. Our unit is already available, and we will select Get Tenants. Now what's important about this Get Tenants is that if you've completed several move-outs for a unit and never completed a security deposit disposition, then when you select Get Tenants, all the units 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, all the tenants that have 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, all the tenants 3, 2, 1, all the tenants who have never had a security deposit disposition completed will be displayed. Next, you're going to get focus on a tenant and select Next. The next thing you'll see is the worksheet. It gives you basic information on the left and some tenant account information on the right. Let's start from the top. Here you have your security deposit plus any pet deposit balance that you have left, and for this tenant is $200. If this tenant had an initial SD disposition tenant balance, it would be in this field here. But our tenant owes 0 balance. At this point, if you needed to add in an open charges, you could add those. To add any open charges, you simply select 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Alright, I'm gonna quit. I don't want to do this.